Welcome to the Sound Like Us podcast, where we get the bedroom rock stars out of the bedroom and out into the world to hopefully get them the recognition they deserve. During the interview, we get to know an artist by asking about how important music is to them, from how their early life shaped the musician they became, and their first taste of live music to their first foray into writing and producing and what they have planned for the future. Please like, follow, share, subscribe in all the usual places: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Instagram and YouTube. Big thank you to everyone that's done so already. Please spread the word far and wide to your friends and family, and even that annoying prick you sit next to at work. If you like the podcast, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use. This helps give the algorithm a big old slap on the chops and gets those musicians even more of the exposure they deserve. If you're a musician, singer-songwriter, rapper, producer, DJ, MC, or even, God forbid, a drummer, and you fancy joining me on the podcast, please don't hesitate to get in touch and we'll get you on. We are also proud to announce that we've partnered up with our mates at East London Recordings. East London Recordings is an independent record label run by independent artists for independent artists. East London Recordings has grown into an influential label committed to helping artists realise their full potential. We will be working with East London Recordings by interviewing their artists on the podcast, giving them more exposure on their background, what inspires them, where they are performing, and what music they have coming out in the near future. There will be many more things to listen out and watch out for, so keep those eyes out and ears peeled. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Sound Like Us podcast and to today's guest, pop R&B artist, singer-songwriter and producer, Cat Thompson. Cat, good evening to you. Good morning for me, but good evening. Welcome to Sound Like Us. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
That's okay. That's okay. Right. Let's start by having you tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a pop R&B recording artist. I'm a songwriter and music producer. I'm based in Byron Bay, which is a small beachside town in Australia. I'm an Australian citizen, but I'm also half Filipino and I'm half Northern Irish. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, I'm
Very
mixed.
nice. What part of? Yeah, what part of Northern Ireland?
Belfast.
Oh, the big city. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in the Philippines. I don't know
My
anything
mum
about
is
the
from
Philippines.
a very, very tiny little town that most people won't know at the very, very top end of the Philippines
Nice.
called Tuguegarao, which is like you can barely spot it on the map, so you have to like zoom right in to find it. But it's a beautiful little place. Yeah.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'd love to go.
Actually, I was there last year. Was the last time I was there, and I was spending time with family, which was really nice. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Right. So, how did the music that your parents listened to influence you growing up?
Well, Filipinos on my mum's side are just notoriously in love with music. Like they love to sing, they all sing, we all dance, it's just part of the culture. So very much something that I grew up with from my mum's side. Everyone was always singing and dancing. And then obviously being the Irish side, that there's music on that side too. But
Yeah.
for my parents, like their main thing that they loved, like they would play the radio. Like my mum was into Elvis.
Really?
Yeah, she had a hard crush on Elvis, and then my dad was really into Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. My dad loved Dolly Parton. To be fair, he's a big country music fan.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure
was
that
like,
wasn't the only reason he loved her.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain too. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, my dad had the biggest crush on her. I like loved Dolly Parton.
So you found that had a big impact on you growing up, listening to all the different kinds of music and that kind of thing.
Yeah, all different stuff. Like, mum obviously had her likes, dad had his likes, and then they would play all different things at home. And then my dad on weekends would play classical music. And because he regretted never playing the piano, he actually was okay when at 6 I said I want to learn to play piano. He was like, okay, well that's good.
That's cool.
It's one of his regrets that he never played. So he was quite okay with me, picking it up.
So he's living his life vicariously through yourself, kind of.
I think so, yeah.
Parents do that. So were there any sort of early experiences with music in your community or hometown that you remember that helped to shape you musically? Any like concerts you remember? Any particular incidents?
100%. Especially on my mum's side, being Filipino,
Mm.
There's a Filipino community here in Australia. You'll find
Yeah.
Filipino community everywhere in the world, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're very good at giving safe spaces for the youth to have
Good.
places to perform. So they
Good.
would throw, cultural events, and they would always say, "Well, does someone want to get up and perform? Any of the youngsters want to get up and sing a song or perform?" So there was always a place for me, very luckily for me as a person who loves music, to have a safe
Yeah.
space to get up and perform. And the community was always very supportive of that, which is really
Yeah. That's
lovely.
good. Mm. It's always good to
Yeah.
give the young people a place where they can feel comfortable enough to not only perform music, but to do things that they love doing, like sports or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
100%.
how often do we grow up and thinking like my mum and dad wanted me to be an engineer or a lawyer or something? No, I want to go and play Wembley Stadium in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
rock
yeah.
band or as a footballer. I don't want to be a
100%.
doctor. But
I think the thing also is, like, having these safe spaces, like, it means that children have things to do that they can grow their confidence in, like, these are
exactly.
all transferable skills. So if
Yeah.
you learn to be able to get on a microphone and make a small speech, later down and, we all have to do that in high school. We all have to do
Uh,
the stand up and make a speech about XYZ topic that we're not really interested in, but have to for
yeah.
grades. So, like, these are all transferable skills that and later in life, maybe you become a marketer or you're into something and you have
Mm,
to get up and speak in front of the board. Like, these are all
yeah.
transferable skills. So, yeah, I think it's good for
Definitely.
kids to have a safe space.
Definitely. Right. It says in your biography that you sent me that you found solace in music. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, for me, music was a way to express how I was feeling, to process. When I was 6, I started playing piano, as mentioned. And one of the things that I loved doing was writing composition. So I would get on the piano. If I was feeling a certain way, I could actually express that
Yeah.
by making, like, if I was really happy, I could write a really upbeat composition. If I was feeling really sad, I didn't really know how to express that. Especially
Hmm.
growing up, you're learning how to communicate. You're learning how to express
Yeah.
how you're learning also. What's the thing that I've noticed little kids, like, where, like, they don't always have emotional regulation developed yet?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, like, that's why little kids have tantrums because they're learning
Yeah.
emotional regulation. So that still is a developing thing as you're aging into beyond
Yeah.
primary school. And so for me, being able to play an instrument and be able to create something based on how I'm feeling at the time allowed me
Mm.
to process or work through. Maybe I was feeling upset about something. I could make something up on the piano that could express that.
That's such a good point. I'd never thought about that, because I've got two kids myself.
Yeah.
Both the twin girls, and they're 4 years old, and they have tantrums. So maybe we need to buy them a piano.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, each kid's different. Some kids, they're more physical, and they go out and play
Mm.
sports, and they
Mm.
express it physically. I was musically inclined, so that's how I was able to express it. So depends what your
Yeah.
kids are like.
Well, they like football, which I quite enjoy, but
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
quite happy with that.
maybe that's where they're meant to be.
Yeah, that would certainly help the bank account if they became footballers. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, if they can bend it like Beckham, definitely.
Yeah. Oh God, if I could bend it like Beckham. Right. So tell us about working with people like well-known international acts such as Eve, Lloyd, Jabberwockies, Ding Dong, Avanzado, Jesse Zaragoza, among many others. What was that like?
Honestly, amazing, because if you're given the opportunity, and this, every independent artist, like,
Mm,
you're given the opportunity to perform alongside or open for a major act. You're getting a side stage view of how everything runs.
yeah.
You're in the green room with them. You're backstage. You get to see how it all goes from
Mm,
a massively major professional level, and then you get on a much bigger stage, and so you're performing to people who are in your genre who don't know who you
yeah.
are, but they're just as encouraging because they love the sound and style that you're playing.
Mm.
So for me, it was amazing to be able to share a stage with such a such
Yeah.
and also to be able to meet them backstage and to watch them from the side, not just as an audience member, but to see how everything runs backstage, how they do things. It's so cool to see how they do it, and they're all slightly different in how they do things as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you get to see how they are off stage, not only in a
Yes.
professional sort of setting, but how they are as people, how they handle things mentally and sort of emotionally. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
that, and also how their team do things. Like, yeah, I
Mm,
mean, I have my very, very small team who support, the goals that I have, but you're talking about artists who are touring around the world. They've got a
mm,
very comprehensive plan of how they get to from, let's say, the hotel room to the stage, and how they handle their
mm.
security, and how they're handling getting on and off the stage costume changes, all these really cool things that when you're just in the audience, you don't get to see that. So being side stage, you get to see so many cool things going on that you're like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah,
and you learn so much just by watching how they do things as well.
that's good. Were those exciting times for you as an emerging artist?
Sorry?
Were those quite exciting times for you as an emerging artist?
Yeah, 100%. Huh, you know, we always there's a saying where they what's that saying I've heard where it's like, "Never meet your heroes," but I actually think
Yeah,
it's a good thing to meet them and to
yeah,
learn just either how to be or how not to be.
yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Is there a specific piece of music that transports you back to another time or place that maybe brings back kind of memories or emotions for you?
Like, I feel like there's no specific piece of music that does that. I feel like there are just so many different bits of music that take me to different places,
Yeah,
even to places that I've never been. You probably experienced this yourself where you hear a song from, like, I don't know,
yeah,
the 70s, or like a time before you were born, and you hear it and you're like, I feel like I'm there even though you weren't
mm,
even alive at that time. So, um I think also, like, hearing some of the golden oldie stuff on radio,
mm.
that sort of transports me back to a time I wasn't even when I wasn't alive.
Yeah, we all have those kinds of songs. I don't
Yeah,
even
I
know
think
which
it's
mine are,
because
to
of
be
our
honest
parents,
with you.
though. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's because of our parents, like, and even our grandparents. It sort of takes us, like, puts us in a place where I'm like, "Oh, well, this song was around when my grandma was
mm,
around." Like,
yeah,
and she was this age when this song came out. Isn't that interesting? Like,
yeah,
and it makes me think, so, yeah.
yeah. Who would you say are your main influences?
So many. Like, to be honest, like, they're so eclectically different as well. Like, I love Elton John because he plays piano and he writes on
Yeah,
piano. So, that's a completely different style from
mm,
what I play. And then on the flip side, you have the more contemporary artists like your Michael Jacksons, your Beyoncés, Janet Jackson. Like, there's so many like contemporary artists that, like, coming up, I was inspired by. And then
mhm,
completely opposite, but, like, I love the gumption of artists like Eminem.
yeah,
So yeah, like, there's, like, so many different influences, and I sort of see different shows and the way
mm,
that people perform, and I get inspired, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool. I really love that." Yeah.
that's good. Do you go through a particular process to work those influences into your music?
Um, Actually, no, because I try to walk into the room and not think about influences or what other people are doing. There I'm always going to be influenced by other artists. I'm always going to be influenced by other art. But
Mm,
when I walk in, I don't go, "Oh, I want to make a cut and paste of something." I go in and I say to myself, like, "What do I feel like? What am I thinking? What's the story I want to tell today?" And
yeah,
so there may be more of a life influence that's going on. Like, maybe my
mm,
friend's going through a breakup, and we've been processing that together and talking through it. And because of that, I'm inspired to then write a breakup song in honor of
yeah,
my friend.
okay,
Or I might be going through the breakup. Or
yeah,
so, like, I take more day-to-day life experiences and things that I experience or people around me, and then from a musical perspective, I just let that flow. And, I do think that my preferences are definitely based on things that I like. So obviously I like Michael, I like Whitney Houston, and those will come in
Yeah,
without
yeah,
me really putting them in there. Yeah.
yeah. It's already sort of there anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Which
I
is
guess
good.
I'm
Right.
less likely to do a heavy metal song because
Well, you never
that's
know. If your
yeah,
next
you
song
never
is
know.
heavy metal, the
That's true.
inspiration might
Could
have
be,
started
could
right
be.
here.
That's it.
Right. I've got a random question for you. If you could take any person to any gig by any artist in history, what gig would it be? Who would you take, and why would you take that person to that concert?
Gosh, that's
Purple.
such a hard one. Yeah. You know what? I've never been there, obviously, because I wasn't alive at the time, but I've heard so much about Woodstock, and I've
Mm,
heard that it was an amazing experience.
yeah.
So, like,
Was it
all the legends are
1969?
there. Yeah, yeah. So, like, I've heard so much about it. So just to be there to
Mm,
watch a piece of history would be so interesting. Musical history, I should say. And
yeah.
who would I take? Think I'd take my brother along. He's a journalist. So I think
Z.
he'd
Okay.
find yeah, so I think he'd find it really interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. You could write about it and you'd both be able to enjoy that then. That'd be good.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even remember who played. Was it the Rolling Stones? I think they were there, weren't they?
Yeah, and I think Janis Joplin, I think off the top of my head. I watched a
Mm,
documentary about it on Netflix and I thought it was like so interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to check that out. Right. What was the first song or piece of music you ever wrote?
First piece. Okay.
Mm,
My very first piece was without lyrics.
okay.
I was 6 years old. My piano teacher, I was living in Japan at the time because my dad had a job
Okay.
there. And my really lovely Japanese piano teacher sent me home with the standard piano homework, like, I don't know, Twinkle Little Star or something like that. And I refused to do my homework and just made up a composition on the piano and
Okay.
took it in to that next lesson. And my piano teacher was so angry at me because I didn't do my homework. And I was so determined to say, but who cares about homework? Look what I've created.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. My parents first said she's not doing her homework.
Did you remember what it was called?
Can't remember for the life of
No.
me. I just remember being really proud of it and then being really confused as to why I was in trouble for it.
Yeah. Do you know what? You're the first person that I've asked that question to in these podcasts that's actually proud of the first thing they've written.
Oh.
Because most people, including me, say the first thing we've written is absolute shit. Because I know mine is.
Yeah. Well, it's a 6-year-old brain, like you look,
Mm,
I've created, you know how kids are. They draw something on a piece of paper and it's a drawing of
yeah.
what they're like, this is a house. And you're like, I can't see how it's a house, but they're super proud of it.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can't say that it was very good, but I was very proud of it.
It's good to be proud of it. Do you
Yeah.
recall the first time you experienced live music?
Live music. And I remember the first time I experienced it. To be honest, I can't remember the first time, but I can remember what doesn't really constitute as live music. I remember as a child walking with my parents, and there was this
Mm,
little corner store, and there was this piano. I think they're called pianolas, where
yeah.
there's a little roll, and no one's playing the piano, but because of the roll, it all the keys
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
I
like a
remember
kind of
that.
music box thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really good marketing for the music store because they would just sit this old upright piano with the pianola going, and they would just run it
Hmm.
all day. And I remember as a child seeing that, and that's actually what made me want to play piano because I
Okay.
saw the keys moving up and down and the music was playing. And
Yeah.
it's not quite live music because there's no one living is playing it, but that's a core memory for me of witnessing an actual instrument playing music.
Yeah, and I guess when you see it like that, you get to see the bare bones of how it kind of works and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that is good.
Yeah.
All right. So your recording studio is in the coastal town of Byron Bay. What influence has that setting had on the music you've recorded there?
For me, it's been a creative sanctuary, like being in a place that's beautiful, natural. It's all green here. My closest neighbor is a cow. No, I mean,
Okay.
you get the baying of the cows and the goats and things. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of the time when you're like creating in a studio in the city, as you probably know, being in studios, you lose
Mm,
track of time. It's sort of you're shut into your own world. But
mm,
when you step out, it's the hustle and the bustle and the noises and the
mm,
buses, all that. So for me, I found it beautiful to be able to step outside of my studio and all I see is blue sky and greenery. And if I'm having
yeah.
and you know what it's like when you're writing and you hit that like writer's block
Mm,
and you're like, I need a break because I've been in the studio for multiple hours in a row.
mm,
And if I just keep pushing through, I'm just hitting a wall. So I need to step out
yeah.
and refresh. There's nothing more beautiful than stepping out and you see the blue sky. Whereas
Mm,
in the past when I was like living in cities, I would step out and you just see another concrete wall. So
yeah.
it it does help with creativity to just refresh. And then you can get back in a
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I guess the difference when you're recording it when you're in the city, you got 2 hours to do your recording or however long, because there's always somebody wanting to come in after you, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
can be that pressure. But I guess when
Yeah.
you're in a place like your studio, you can just take your time, and it's much better, and there's less car fumes, and it's less polluted, and
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think just, human beings, they say do better when they see greenery. So
mm, mm,
if anything, I love stepping out and seeing the greenery and I feel refreshed and then I walk back into the studio and I don't feel that
yeah,
pressure. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You got to get this take.
yeah, yeah. Where we live in London, it's the air quality is not very good here, so it's we like to get out to the countryside now and then,
Yeah,
which
that
isn't
makes
too far, which is good. So your performance are heavily dance based. So talk us through the process of choreographing them and setting them up, and how do you go through that?
Actually, I'm very lucky to work with a great choreographer. His name's James Dean. So if
Okay.
anyone who's interested, they can go on socials and look up James Dean Dance.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can check out his YouTube and all. So really talented. And so I work alongside him. So obviously I create my music, and then I get once I'm out of the recording studio and the song's all done, I get into a dance studio with him, and
Mm,
we work through the process of creating the choreography. So we sit down, I discuss my vision with him, what sort of concept, what the song's about, what elements I want to express, or what feelings I want to express, and what sort of key things I want to hit in a performance. And then
mhm,
he goes away and he works on the choreography, and then he comes back and then we workshop it together. And then we refine until we have something that's like ready for stage. And
okay.
then once we've got that, we get the dancers in and then we teach them the choreography, and then we've got a show.
Cool. Is it the same dancers that you work with, or do you work with different ones with different sort of songs and stuff?
So it depends on the project, and depends on what we're doing at the time. But I like to work with the same dancers because if you do, you have a rapport
Yeah.
with them, and it's nice to
Yeah.
tour with people who are your friends as well. 'Cause,
Yeah. That's
you've
true.
got yeah, like it's like hanging out with your mates, but then you also get to work, which is like the best thing.
Mm,
But it also depends on availability.
mhm.
Dancers are super talented people, professionals who also, go off on their own contracts for like maybe they get signed up for a cruise ship and they're away for 6 months. So it
Yeah.
just depends on their availability and
Mhm.
who's down for the project.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to give some of them a bit of a shout out? Give me a bit of a name check.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to shout out two dancers who did the music video with me. So two female dancers, including obviously James Dean, who also was a featured male dancer in my new singles music video. But I'd love to shout out to Mon and to V, to these two beautiful ladies. They were super talented, and it was a joy to work with them on the latest singles music video.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Do you remember your first ever live performance?
Do I remember it? Yeah, I do. I was very little, and I think it was a school thing off the top of
Mhm.
memory. And I remember my knees shaking, and I was terrified. But I
Yeah.
do remember it. Yeah, it was a like a school. You know when? What are they called? Where like the school sort of just puts together a end of year show, and all the kids get up and do different variety performances. Like it was
School production.
yeah, like
Yeah.
something like that. So
Yeah.
that's what it was. So it wasn't anything serious, nothing anything big, but I just remember being very nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my first performance. It was, I used to play trombone when I was like 8 or 9. I think it was a school Christmas carol concert and I was sick beforehand. So
Oh,
that wasn't good.
oh no. How old
It
were
did okay.
you?
About 8 or 9.
I don't know. Oh, bless.
Yeah. One of
Did your
those things, I
parents like
suppose.
you playing? Did your parents like you playing the right?
Not really,
Not
because
really.
it was quite loud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then I progressed onto electric guitar, and they said, "I wish you were playing the trombone now because this is too fucking loud." But anyway,
My parents went through the same thing. My brother actually picked up the baritone, which is like the trombone,
okay,
much bigger
yeah, yeah,
and
mm,
much deeper sounding, and
mm,
it drove them nuts. They were like, "Could you pick up like anything other than this?" And but
yeah,
I remember the instrument was bigger than him, like
mm,
almost twice the size of him. He'd lug this big thing home and he'd play it, and yeah,
yeah.
hated it.
I threatened to learn the drums once, and they weren't too happy with that.
I can imagine.
Right, looking back over the performances you've done, which would you say is your best?
Honestly, I wouldn't be able to pick a best because I kind of
No.
see it like it's hard for me to judge my own performances
Mhm.
because I'm on the stage. So
Yeah.
I would always say like, the best people who judge a performance are those who are watching it,
Mm,
those who are experiencing it. So I can't say personally what my best is, but I can say that a performance I really enjoyed because there's always different ones. I actually got to tour in Vietnam earlier this year, and
oh,
it was so fun and
yeah.
such a blessing to be able to experience a new culture because I've never been to Vietnam
Mm,
before. To experience a new culture and do what you love at the same time.
mm,
I'm very thankful that I was given the opportunity to go over there and perform. So yeah,
that's
I
good.
that was a performance I really enjoyed.
How was the crowd over there?
Good, lovely.
Yeah.
Like it was during the Tet Festival, so that's kind of like Lunar New Year.
Okay.
But for Vietnam, and yeah, just lovely people, and like everyone was just down for a good time. So I can't
That's
complain,
good.
and good people,
That's
good vibes.
Yeah, that always helps the show go well when you've got people that enjoying the performance and they kind of want to take part, and that's really good.
Yeah, and well, it
Is there a
doesn't hurt
particular?
when it's festival time and you're
Yeah,
performing and the fireworks are going off behind you. It's kind of fun.
yeah, that is good. It's good energy.
Yeah.
Is there a particular venue that stands out in your memory as a favorite place of yours to perform?
Oh, favorite venue. Um, one that I actually remember very clearly performing in that I was like, that was such a cool performance was I was opening up for the Jabberwockies and
Okay.
we performed at City Hall in Brisbane. And I
Mm,
remember that being such a cool space to perform. Like the there was like this big organ behind us and the acoustics of the place was really cool. And yeah, so I remember that and the energy of everybody there. Everyone there was just in such a good vibe. So I
yeah,
remember performing that and yeah, so that's one of my favorite like venues to perform at.
that's great. Right,
Yeah.
another random question for you. Be prepared. If you could save
Okay.
5 albums by 5 different artists from a burning building, which 5 are you going to choose?
Oh my gosh, 5 albums. So 8701 by Usher because I absolutely loved that album. I would save I don't know if it's called that, but the Bodyguard album that Whitney Houston did, all of her big hits. I love that one.
Yeah.
I love Emancipation of Mimi by Mariah Carey. When that came out, it was a
Okay.
completely different sound for her. Like she went from obviously her big ballads to this
Mm,
completely different image and sound. So that's 3. 2 more. Oh, gosh, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head now, but the album that Linkin Park they did, I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the Linkin Park albums, and
I
I think
can't think
time's
of.
running out. I can't think of a fifth one, so that's my four.
Okay, that's right. We'll add a fifth one in a bit later if you can.
Yeah, I'll come up with one. I'll think of one.
Mhm. Right. What is your all-time favorite song of yours to perform live?
All-time favorite of mine or someone else's?
Of yours. Let's do both. Start with yours.
Okay. Um, I haven't performed Dance Fire live yet, which is my new single that's just come out. So I can't say that, to be fair, but I've really enjoyed performing my single Be Mine, which I got to perform in Sydney with a couple of backup dancers, and that was really fun. And now a song for someone else, just for the sake of loving the song. I love Whitney Houston's music. So
Yeah.
my favorite would be I'll Always Love You by Dolly
Okay.
Parton, written by Dolly Parton, performed by Whitney.
Dolly Parton's, she's working her way back in there.
She is. Oh, that's definitely that influence coming in.
Yeah, definitely. Right. What are your earliest memories of recording?
Earliest memories of recording. I remember walking into a studio in my teens and being told by the producer that he hated my voice and that he didn't want to work with me.
You should have said to him, you get up and sing then. Let's see you try to do better.
I probably should have, but I was too polite and too brought up to be too polite. I sort of said I'm so sorry, and I said what can I do to improve? And I remember him like just being very difficult and saying no, no, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it. And I remember speaking to my manager at the time, and I was in tears later, and I said I'll do everything. I'll make it better. I'm blah blah blah, and yeah, and I said I'll like he didn't like the way that I'd written the song as well because I was writing music by then, or writing like full songs by then.
Yeah.
And he didn't like the way I'd written the song, but couldn't give me feedback, which I thought was interesting
Yeah.
at the time. Like, couldn't tell me what was wrong with the song, couldn't tell me what he didn't like about my voice, couldn't tell me what he
Mm.
didn't like about me as a person. But I was so determined to try and make it work. So I remember speaking to my manager saying, if you could just give me some feedback on how to improve, I will do it. Like, what can I do?
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
I remember my manager then coming back and saying he just doesn't want to work with you. And wouldn't give
How
any
rude.
reason why. Yeah, like years later, I remember like looking back on it and like sometimes things just don't click. But I worked with other producers later and they were like, I don't know why, because you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. So I don't know what it was, but yeah, I remember just walking in and he just was in a mood and he didn't want to work with me. So first experience, yeah, was traumatizing.
So how did you move on from that then? Did you find a different producer, different studio?
Yeah, different producer,
Yeah.
walked in, and he was a dream. Lovely guy.
Yeah.
For a young artist who never recorded before, he was very kind and, helped me to grow and develop. And because I was always willing to learn. So I was like, what can I do?
Mm.
Like basically they were had taking notes, like, how can I improve? What would
Yeah.
you like me to do better? I'll go
Mm.
home, I'll practice, I'll come back in. So he was very kind. And yeah, so his name is Brian. And
Okay.
I'm very thankful for that experience.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You say obviously you got your own recording studio now. What's the
Yeah.
setup there? Is it like a full recording studio with the big the desk and all the rest of it, or did you use a computer? Or I don't know how these things work.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of digital, a little bit of analog, a little bit of
Okay.
mix of both.
Okay.
I'm not full analog because I'm from a later time, but I do have a couple of little analog pieces. But a lot of my work is digital
Yeah.
plugins and things like that. So yeah,
Okay.
I've got all the acoustic treatment, the clouds, and all the things that help you to get a better recording. Because it's not just the equipment; it's the space itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and making sure that I can capture the best audio initially. So then when I'm doing production or working with anyone, it's a much easier job afterwards. Like we're not cleaning up
Yeah.
something that's a mess to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So do you work with an engineer or producer, or do you mainly do it yourself, or?
A mix. So it depends on the project. I do collaborations as well. So if the project requires me to be both engineer, music producer, and do the mixing and all that jazz, I can do that. I've done projects where there's another producer on board, and I kowtow to their decades more of experience. So if they're a much more
Yeah,
experienced producer, I'm always happy for them to do it because I can learn something along the way from them, and it's they bring a different flavor than I would bring.
that's good.
Other times, I'm not doing any of the production and I'm just doing the songwriting or I'm playing an instrument on it. So it just depends. Every
Okay,
project's slightly different.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It, your brand new single, Dance Fire. Do you want to
Yeah.
tell people when that's coming out?
Yeah. Well, the
Coming
song's
out
out
soon, is
now.
it?
Yeah, it's out
Okay,
now
yeah, of
and
course
the
it is.
music video has dropped. So
Brilliant.
would love for everyone to check it out. If they're into pop R&B music that makes you want to get on the dance floor, then this hopefully is up your alley. The music video is really fun to film. I filmed it in Sydney and I worked with my choreographer who also was the music video director. So I worked with Shane
Okay.
Steen. And for this single, for Dance Fire, I actually worked with a music producer called JC,
Hmm.
very talented producer. So shout out to JC. And
Mm.
he actually has worked with some of the top artists here in Australia. So I was very,
Yeah,
very thankful and very blessed to be in the same room as him. He's incredible.
that's good. That's good. So, what or who influenced the song?
Actually, I wanted something upbeat and fun. I wanted something
Okay.
that was going to be, danceable. But when
Mm.
we walked into the studio, normally I write something ahead and we come in and we've got a sort of an agenda. I've got all the lyrics ready and I've got the top melody and everything, or I've got all the piano melodies and things all written. But we wanted to create something that was just like something. There's a different approach to every different.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this one, we sort of went, let's just get in the studio. It's our first time ever working together. Let's just jam and vibe and see what comes out. And so we kind of had an idea of like, that I wanted to do a pop R&B track, but
Mm.
what the energy was going to be like, whether it was going to be a
Yeah.
slower jam or fast jam or like those sort of things we didn't have hashed out. We just walked in and like any really good jam session, which you've probably been to a million of those, you walk in and
Mm.
everyone just starts vibing and playing and then the
Mm.
music just starts happening. You know how like that's a magical sort of feeling when you're there?
Yeah.
Like that's what it was like in the recording studio. He just started like, playing with some percussion and I just started playing with some top melodies and we just
Yeah.
vibed. And then as that was going along, I had my pad and pen and I just started writing some lyrics on the spot and
Great.
throwing around the ideas. And then there we go. It happened. So
So it's very much an organic kind of thing happening.
yeah, it was so fun. I
Yeah.
actually love recording like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like with the last few years, obviously, when we had lockdowns and things like that, you don't get to be in the room with people as often.
Yeah.
We weren't able to. So I feel like there were so many lost opportunities during that period. So it was so
Mm.
nice to be in the studio with somebody recording and creating and vibing and bouncing off each other. So it was a great
Yeah.
experience.
That was a difficult time, wasn't it? A lot of people that come in here, they say that lockdown sort of, I don't know, they got a lot of energy from it, that once we could get out and do stuff, they wanted to get out and get it done, go play live, record stuff, and do whatever
Yeah,
they
yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
Even I started writing songs again, so which was good. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time.
100%.
So your one of your previous singles, Who You Gonna Call? By the way, was that nothing to do with Ghostbusters, was it?
No, I love that. I love that when I released it, everyone would write Ghostbusters or they would like make a joke about it. I love that. I thought it was so funny. Yeah, no, brilliant. But yeah, yes, my previous single was Who You Gonna Call, and nothing to do with ghosts, more to do with ex-boyfriends, but no ghosts.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say it's quite appropriate in the Halloween. Um,
And it is, yeah, actually. We're so close to
yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah. So yeah, that single, "Who You Gonna Call," made America's Nash Vegas, which I like the title of that, Nash Vegas, radio
Yeah.
top 30. How did it feel for that song and for yourself to do so well in America?
Amazing. Like,
Mm,
I was very, very, very thankful. They sort of reached out and they were like, "Hey, we like the song." And you never that's the beauty of the internet. Like you don't know where someone's going to hear your track, where they are in the world, who they are.
mm,
They reached out, they said, "We like the song. Can we add it to airplay?" And I was like, "Yes, please." I mean, who says no? So I was like, "Yes,
no one.
please." And then, I didn't realize that, it would actually become something that people would enjoy.
Mm,
You just don't know where something's gonna play, so or where people are
mhm.
going to connect with it. And then over the following weeks built up, and then, yeah, they were like, "Yeah, you're in the charts." And I was like, "Oh
That's
my
great.
god!" So, yeah.
Have you performed over there?
No, I haven't. I was actually supposed to go over there in 2020
Mm,
and had best laid plans, as you know, never come
mm,
to fruition. When you have everything lined up, Murphy's Law comes in. So,
mm.
yeah, had everything lined up, ready to go, was actually about 2 weeks away from getting on the plane and had the visa sorted. Had so many things all lined up. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
pandemic hit and
Oh,
that whole thing just literally went belly up. And
yeah.
you know how it is. The industry just stopped. Like
Mm,
the venue stopped, the touring stopped, everything stopped. You couldn't even like some countries you couldn't even leave or you couldn't go to because their
yeah.
borders closed. So, yeah, best laid plans. Thanks, Murphy.
Yeah. Well, you'll get out there soon. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I'd
of
love
that,
to.
definitely. So you've collaborated with many diverse artists, including Future Destin, Neek, Maro Ferdinand, Lake Sick, Sax Beats, Liney, Michelucha. I probably pronounce it incorrectly, but apologies if I have, among many others. How important is it to you that there's that collaborative atmosphere between artists?
It's so important because
Mm,
I feel like when you try different genres, when you work with different
mm,
types of people, when you work with different types of artists, you learn not just about, other people, because that's you learn to work with different people and different
mm,
personalities. You learn a lot about yourself as well in the
yeah.
process. And one of the things also is like you broaden your horizons from a musical perspective. Like one person will have an idea that you would never have thought of. And
Mm,
just by being in the same space as them or working on the same project, you're not just learning things about character, you're learning things culturally. Like
mm,
with Future Destin, which was like such an amazing experience, he is from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he reached out to me and was like, "I'd love for you to jump on this track. I'd like
Mm,
for you to sing in my language." And
yeah,
language is Kabembe, and
yeah,
that's his mother tongue from Africa. And I was like, I don't know your language. Like, I couldn't, I can't speak your language. And he said,
yeah.
don't worry, I'll teach you.
Mm,
And then from there, we'll work on the track. And so he taught me some of his language and like, he wrote those lyrics so that obviously, because I can't write in another language. So we worked on the song together and he taught me how to speak his language so that I could sing in his language. And I learned so much about his culture. We went and shot the music video. He shot it part of it was in Africa, in different parts
mhm.
of Africa, and then he also shot part of it in Brisbane, so then I could actually
Yeah.
come Brisbane, Australia, so I was able to come to that part of the music video shoot, and then
Mm,
afterwards, he was like, "I'm gonna take you out, and I'm going to treat you to food from my culture." So
wow.
like,
But that
I
was
got so
nice.
amazing, like, just to experience a different culture entirely that I would never have had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah,
Doing it while we do music is like it's 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 surreal and it's beautiful, and you learn so much about yourself, other people, you
mm,
grow as a person through these experiences. So, yeah, collaborations, I think everyone should do them.
yeah, definitely. Can you remember how to speak Kibembe?
I'm very, very bad at it. But you know what's crazy? Like the people who listen to it, who listen to the song Malanga, they are so kind. And I had messages from people from that region messaging me on social media saying, "Thank you so much for, you know, giving it a shot. Thank you so much for doing a song in our language." Like it's amazing how like they'll embrace you. They'll say like, they're thankful and they're so happy that you're giving it a go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, when because my wife's Brazilian, and when we got married, I did part of my wedding speech in Portuguese so that her mum and dad could understand a part of the speech because they can't speak English. So
I love
to
that.
do that, and they loved it. Yeah, they gave me a big hug after. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
and you
important.
see, it is, and it's so beautiful. Like they feel so much more connected to you
Mm,
because you made the
yeah,
effort. So I love that for you.
I can't remember anything of what I said, but
Yeah.
might not even made sense. But I think they like the fact I tried. Um,
Yeah, the fact that you're just trying, it's like the fact that it's so hard, especially as adults, to learn a second language or a third language. Like it's so
mhm,
hard. And people appreciate that the effort is put in. Like maybe it's not grammatically perfect, but the fact that you've tried is that in itself, they're like, thank you for trying. Like I appreciate you
yeah,
putting the effort in. So yeah.
yeah, that's good. All right, is there a track of yours that carries a deep personal meaning for you?
Each song I love to write from like a mini story. But one that was, like, really like, not just fun, but, like, really, really touching to write was, track I did with Mauro Ferdinand and, a couple of really talented artists from Latin America, from Peru. So, it's called If I Go. And so that track itself is actually about a relationship where you know that the relationship is bad, but you love that
Mm,
person so deeply that your heart will break if you stay, but you know your heart will break if you go. Like it's lose lose whatever way whichever way you look you lose. So and that was a track that like when I was working with the guys, we were bouncing ideas around, and the music actually was what stirred on that thought process. Like I was
yeah,
listening to the melodies and things that they sent through, and I sort of closed my eyes and I thought about it, and I felt like just felt through the song, through the melodies that we had already playing, and
yeah.
it basically spoke to me, and that's where I came up with "If I Go,"
Okay,
or the top melody and lyrics.
brilliant. Can you think of a piece of music that you fell in love with when you were younger, that had a massive impact on you, and you've carried it through up until now?
Yeah, it's actually one of the favorite track that I love to sing when I'm just singing a track for my own fun
Yeah.
was, Whitney Houston's "I'll Always Love You."
Okay.
Yeah, like, when I heard that track, I must have been maybe 2 or 3. I was very, very young, and, I
Mm,
just loved her voice, and I loved the
yeah.
song, so that track, even now as an adult, when I hear it on the odd occasion when it comes on somewhere
Mhm.
or I play it for whatever reason, it's so impactful for me.
Yeah. I think it's the purity of her voice. She's
It
got such
is.
a pure tone.
Yeah, incredible.
What is the one of the most memorable moments from a live show that you've done? But that might be a crowd reaction, moment of personal connection, any funny incidents that might have happened that you can remember?
Yes, actually, it was quite mid this year, so not too long ago. I had a gig here in
Mm,
Australia, and I was perform. I actually I was almost at a point of pulling out because I'd caught COVID and I
okay.
was extremely sick, like just
Mm,
so sick. And I don't know how, but like I'd been, in bed for a couple of days. It was very early. When you know when you get sick, and the first couple of days are really the worst.
yeah.
Like they really just hammer you in. And if you're a week or two in, or like a week or so in, you can muster the energy to get back to work. But the first couple of days when you get hit with like, the cold, the shivers,
Mm,
all the worst feelings that you can in the lack of energy. So I remember calling up the organizer and saying, "Look, I've got COVID and very, very sick." And they were like, "Okay, see how you feel because we can't replace you." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Okay, no, I'll muster up the energy. I'll do it,
mhm.
but only if you guys feel safe with me being around." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, come in, come in." So I ended up getting on stage, and like I don't know how or why, but like literally half an hour before I was meant to be on getting on, I somehow got this like how it's like the show must go on? I got that
Yeah.
wind. Yeah. And so I was on the stage bouncing around, dancing around, and, having a blast with the audience. And in that moment, I forgot that I had COVID. And so I'm like
That's
singing
good.
and performing. And I have this thing that I love like connecting with people when I'm on the stage because like,
Mm,
if they want to connect, I want to connect with them. And there are these
mhm,
people reaching out with their hands, like you know how people are when you're on stage and they reach out to you and you like I love to high five people. And there
yeah.
was this person in the audience and I forgot that I'd COVID because I was performing and etc. And so I like high fived them and a little mini split second in my brain was like, don't do that because this you've got COVID, you're sick. And the person took the high five and the first thing they did was go
Put it in the mouth.
rub their entire face with it. And I just went, oh God, oh no.
Mm,
So I was like, but
awful.
I mean, I was mid lyric, and I was like, "Don't do that." So yeah, that was like, I guess, a funny moment, but also I was kind of like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" So yeah, that
You
was
should have
earlier
said.
this year.
You should have said, "Can we have a COVID test for the person at the front?"
Yeah, yeah, for the person, I'm so sorry, I've infected you now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I've given you the plague.
Okay. Are there any other bands or artists you've enjoyed playing with or seeing live on the local Australian scenes around sort of
Yeah,
Byron Bay, Brisbane, and stuff?
yeah, heaps. Actually, what a notable one, because there's just so many talented Australian musicians to work with. Like, but one really cool artist that I worked with is a DJ called Jamie Vale, and we've done several shows up and down the East Coast, and we've actually doing a New Year's Eve gig together up at Noosa,
Oh, brilliant.
which is going to be so fun. And it's always a vibe. Like it's always such a vibe. He's such a nice person, and
Mhm.
he brings such a good vibe, and the crowd always like just get in the mood. He always seems to know what songs to put on to make hype everybody up. So yeah, Jamie Bell. Shout out to Jamie.
Sorry. Livy,
That's
go
okay.
out. Go out, man. She's just come in to say, Daddy, look at me. I've got ready. I've got ready to go out.
Aw, bless her.
So, have you got any plans to come over to the UK at any point?
I
Do you
would
think?
absolutely love to. My family members over there are like, "Can you come over now? Like, when are you going to be
Mm,
here?" But no plans right at the moment to head over the other side of the pond.
hmm
Um, Definitely on the cards for the future. It's something that I'd love to do. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'd love to like, do some more shows and performances over there. It'd be so cool to connect with people in that end.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Right. So, what does the future hold for you, both in the short and the long term?
Short term, I obviously just dropped the new singles. Um, just trying to get the song to as many people and hopefully share the love. We were coming up to Christmas, New Year's, and you know how that's like the craziest time for performers. Lots of end of year gigs.
Yeah.
And then for 2026, I actually am heading down to Sydney.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Oh, you'd be there for the new year.
yeah, well, no, New Year's, I'm actually going to be performing on a boat in Noosa, which will be fun. I've
Oh,
actually never done a
nice.
boat performance before, so that will be
Okay.
cool. So, um, yeah, we'll see if I'm what is it, a landlubber, whether I have the
Yeah.
belly for it.
No, no, fine. You'll
So
be fine. Just don't
performance
eat
like,
beforehand.
oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I'll take your advice. So I do that, and then I head to Sydney. 2nd of January, so 3rd of January.
Okay.
3rd of January, I'm on a plane.
Brilliant. That'd be good. Right, and that brings us to the end of the interview. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
That's okay. I'm sorry about yesterday with the confusion about my end forgetting we'd arranged to do it yesterday.
It's all good.
I'm sorry, but I'm really thankful you've taken time out of your day to do it today. Really appreciate that.
No, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for setting a new time. I'm so
That's
sorry you
okay.
didn't get much sleep today.
Well, these things happen, especially when you've got young kids. So, do you want to tell people about what you've got coming up again, all the gigs and tours, all your new releases and stuff?
Yeah, my new single Dance Fire is out now. Feel free to check it
Hmm.
out. It's across all the usual streaming platforms. So whatever your favorite,
Yeah,
Spotify, Apple, etc. YouTube, head over there, look up Cat Thompson Dance Fire. And yeah, I'll be doing shows in Australia. So if you're in this region, head over to my website, catthompson.com, and I'll make sure that any deets for shows and things are on there.
brilliant. And they can also find you on places like Instagram and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on all social.
Same here. So please like, share, follow, and subscribe to Sounds Like Us podcast, Instagram and YouTube. And finally, to play us out, it's Cat Thompson with their brand new single, Dance Fire. Cat, it's been a real pleasure having you on today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to do this, at short notice after what happened yesterday with me forgetting again.
Good.
I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
That's right. We'll do it again soon.
Sounds good.
The wall, baby, come and dance with me. It's time to get physical. Let's see you move your feet. Take your body into overdrive as you're moving close to me. You keep saying that you got the swag. Well, it's time to bring the heat. And if you want it, you got it. But you gotta bring the heat to the floor. Now give me some more. You say you want it, you got it. Take my hand and baby, let us explore. I'm yours. Can you give me that dance? Can you give me that fire? Can you give me that dance? Can you give me that fire? Are you ready? As the rhythm hits the floor, put your hands around my waist. I feel your heartbeat faster now, it's sinking with the bass. Coming closer, don't be shy, we ain't got time to waste. Keep saying you want me bad, well now's the time and place. And if you want it, you got it. But you gotta bring the heat to the floor. Now give me some more.